Hello and good evening. Happy Sunday. And we're in a new month as well. Oh dear, July already. Where's the year gone? Okay, so I've just had a very long drive. I've stayed overnight for a meeting today in Luton at the airport hotel. And yeah, it's been a long drive back. Lots of weather, beautiful skies. We've had double rainbows. I've literally been driving towards most of the way home. Lots of cloud, blue skies with white puffy clouds and black skies with the rainbows all at the same time. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to come on and join me. Now, I had in my diary that July is National Watercolour Month, World Watercolour Month. So I thought I've got to do some watercolouring tonight. So I had tidied my room up before I went, so everything was neatly put away. So I had to quickly scramble and get some tools out for you this evening. So I've got my water brushes down here. I'm just going to move you across there so I can see. There we go, that's just gone up. There we go. So I have my watercolour pens here. I have kind of a loose idea as to what I'd like to do. So I'm going to grab my Fluid 100 watercolour paper, and I'm going to take a piece of this. I'm going to do it to, I haven't got any cardstock out at all, have I? Let's see what colours we want to do first. I was thinking in my mind's eye, I wanted to have something along the lines of a sunset or a water or skies, nice blues and greens, or kind of like a sunsetty colour. So I've got yellows and oranges out. Just looking, someone's put a love symbol up there, so somebody's there lurking, which is good. So I'm in the right place. So I had seen something online. I want to cut this first of all to a card front side. Let's see if I've got any cards. I've got some gems there. Look, I'll get those out ready. I haven't actually got a card front as such. No, let me see what I've got. I'm going to have to grab some cardstock out. I've got everything else, I think. Let me just grab some thick white card, and we'll come back to colours if we need. So I'm going to do this for now. We will put a coloured layer in here. This is that's basic white. That's not the thick one. We need the thick. So let's start. It's not thick. Okay. Oh dear, that's not good, is it? It's neutral. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. I want my panel to be onto a card base, but it's going to be put a coloured layer in between. Hi, nice to see some faces popping in there. Nice to see you guys. I can take a breath now. I have run out completely of thick white card by the looks of it. So I'm going to do a Pebble Path as a neutral base. There's one cut for me, so that saves me a little bit of time. So there's the base. I want to put a splash of colour behind here when we get there. So I think for my layers today, I'm going to come down a whole centimetre. So 10.5 will be 9.5 by 13.8. So let's get that cut first. This is in the metric sizes, so 13.8 that way, and 9.5 that way. You know I keep those pieces, so they go back in my box so we can use those for other little bits. And just looking at that for the time being, just as a base card, because it's neutral. Okay, so we're going to work on this piece of watercolour paper. I have some copy paper ready to put underneath in case I get any mess on there, because the glass mat will just need keep to wiping. So you've seen me use the water painters before. Today we're going to teach you how to do a wash. I think I have had a couple of classes recently, and we might have run out of time to do some of this. So I'm going to do this now as a technique as well. So we're using the biggest brush here. Okay, there is water in here, but also we can actually put some into a little glass jar. I've got my clean one. You know what? Before I went away, I put them in the dishwasher. That was a good move, wasn't it? So we can do this. We have technology we can do. They've all got glue in the bottom of them. we'll see what we can use instead. Look, we're just going to put it in here for now. It's only to wash the brush. So we'll put it in there. It doesn't look very nice because it's got glue in the bottom. Hi Anne, nice to see you. And I did prep my square of kitchen roll. This is always just really handy to keep it to the side of you. If I bring that on to here, I'm just taking some of that water off there. And then it's the colours. Let's choose some colours, shall we? Doesn't really matter which ones we go for, but I've got an embossing folder that I wanted to try and incorporate if I could. Would you like to have sunset-y type things, or would you like to have ferns? Okay, there's a reason why one or the other. So ferns, blues and greens, or would you like sunset colours, sort of oranges and yellows, and maybe a little bit of red in there as well. I've got pumpkin pie over there. Okay, you've got to vote. So have a little vote quickly while I just load up my stamp. I've got a couple of stamps here I'd left out, so I just leave them on the outside of my pad here, my box. Ooh, if that would go. I think we might have used these recently. This is the Simply Said stamp set. And I've got the thanks on here still already, but we also have this one that was one left over from a previous project. So we might be using that. Okay, oh, we got 1 and 1. Okay, next one's the decider. Because then it might mean whether I go and run and get some other bits and pieces or not. So I'm going to use my spritz bottle here as well. One more vote, please. There's a few of you on here. One more vote. If not, I will have to make a decision. So I'm just going to go over with my spritz bottle here. It's a very, very fine mist. So any bottle that you can recycle, it's really good to have that mist. I want to just dampen my card. And the reason, I think I've said before, the reason we use the Fluid 100, it's specially made to absorb that water. It takes that water, it won't pill, and you can dry it, and you can, it'll float. I think I've demonstrated that before, but you'll see when I use it. So I'm just going to put some water on here. I just want a mist, just so it's just moistening that. And if it starts to curl, all you do is just to give a mist on the back as well, and it'll curl it back the other way. So that's another top tip. Purple and blue. Oh, hi, Joy. Purples and blues. Yeah, I can do that. So you want a sunsetty. I'm going to put that out of the way. So because I've dampened this down, I've just taken my brush here and I'm just going to wet over the surface here. Okay, I'm not actually going to use all the way to the edges. So it doesn't matter. I can see that there's some dryness on there as well. Because I'm right-handed, I do tend to paint at an angle, so I will be sloping on the sides there. Let me see. I seem to permanently have the lavender colours on here, and I've got Berry Burst, which is nice. So those ones will all go pretty nicely. And then I've got some blue here. I think the boho would go nicely with that because you always wanted to try wash. Yeah, Linda, I think we ran out of time. So let's go with these colours, okay? We might, orange really isn't going to go in there, Joy, but we'll start with these. It is a trial and error, so let's just see how we go. So this is damp. It's not saturated, it's just damp. So we would have the top would be the darker. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom and work upwards. I have got my pot of water here, and I'm going to start with just blending some of these colours. Okay, so I need to just squeeze these. I'm working from the insides of the stamp pads today. So we've done this before, but I'm just going to loosen this. So if it needs a little bit more water, dip your brush in the pot and just bring some more water in there. Just remember what I've said before, don't then go and close this and that water will then go on your pad. You want to avoid that. So I'm going to try and go over this just with a loose wash. Because I've dampened down the paper, okay, we're using a broad nib. So this is the three sizes. Where did I just put them? The three sizes here. You've got the fine, the medium, like normal paintbrush looking, and then you've got the wash, the wide one for the wash. Okay, so just pick some of that up. I'm just going to damp that a little bit. Got a bit of shadow on here in the wrong place. There's a fleck of something purple in there, which didn't come from today. So just wash that brush out, okay, and damp that down. I'm just going to leave these all to one side, okay, because we might come back to them. So squeeze the freesia is going to be paler. Let's squeeze that one. Okay, there is some in there already, so a drop of water, loosen that up, and then we'll gradually blend these in, and then we'll start coming up darker as we go towards the top. Okay, so it is mixing them, so you've got lilac and the blues coming through together. This is an experiment. And then we'll keep the pinks. Oh, we got some in there already, that's always good. So we'll pick some of that up, a little bit more water. And I am mixing the brushes, obviously there's ink on here, I'm not bothering to clean them. Okay, it's quite dark, so we can pick some more water up and just loosen that up a little bit more. So that's just to make a lighter shade. Not ready to go in with the really darks just yet. A little bit of something caught on there. Okay, so we're just going to, again, overlap them like I did just now. We can blend these in as much as we like. The watercolour paper will take lots of water, okay, as I've already said. So I'm going to get a bit of purple in here now. Look, we've used this one before. What have we got here? Sunset would look lovely too. Yeah, there's loads and loads. You're just making a blended effect. And because the paper, I dampened it down beforehand, you can see it's still sitting together in stripes, but we can blend this all at the end. Just getting these out of the way because I don't want to shut them yet without drying them. This is the darker one. Okay, so I'm going to pick some of that water up. The water is getting coloured now. So as you wash the brush out. So I often, when I do the classes, I tend to give them 2 little pots so you can, so that you can have one for dirty water, one for, first brush, and one for the top one. Cleaned. So that is blending nicely through. Oh, you want to come in, don't you? Would you like to come in a little bit more? And there we go. So you can see that those colours are coming through quite nicely. Because I spritzed the paper, I've got the copy paper under here. I'm quite happy with that. If you do get some little flecks, it's just picked up some flecks because of bits of the fibres that have come out of the ink when I've squeezed it and using it. So I'm not bothered about that because skies, we would like to see them. Oh, bless you. Hi, Shaz. Yeah, the cats have been very quiet since I've been home. Bless them. David sent me a photo this morning with the cats. He'd gone to bed and he'd left the door open, so the snug door. So the cats he woke up and they was curled up on the bed with him. So this is my finished piece so far, and I quite like that. So I'm going to keep that. Now we can just get some clean water if you like, fairly clean, and we're just going to try and blend those out if you like. If you've got too many stripes, too much, definitive lines between each one, you can just get a clean brush and just blend some of those in. Remember, lights to darks, darks to lights, and lights to dark. Okay, but I'm quite happy with that because it's kind of like graduated down there. This is a bit of an experiment. It was an idea that I had come to mind because of the topic I'd got in my planner. So with that, I think we need to go around the middle here for our colours. So for the cardstock, for the background, so the base card, I won't use the Pebble Path, and I'm not sure which size greetings we're going to use on that. I wanted to use a die cut. I thought that thank you or thanks was in the wanted to say dies, but it's not. So let me grab a colour for the background. The very first we've got in there. So if we leave the blue out at the bottom, these are the colours we've kind of got in there for the ink pads. Okay, so we've got there are all those colours. I think if we have maybe that one as a base and one of these as a, let's just lay these on here. I've got a base in that one, so try that. We can see what size it's going to look. I do want to have a mid layer in there, so I want something in the middle here, maybe a freesia with something like that come into the middle. You see me how I build these up. That's the light one, if we had that. Or if we had gorgeous grape, it would be something like that. It's kind of, no, don't like that one so much. It's too hard, isn't it? I think the lighter, or we try lighter on the bottom and then a darker stripe through like so. That might look nice. How do you think of that one? Hi Jane, nice to see you. I'm just doing combinations here of what colours we're going to put with the wash on here. And then I've got some embossing to do, some heat embossing. I think those colours kind of lend themselves in without being berry, blackberry bliss. You like the blackberry bliss? Okay, we'll get one of those out. Oh, we got two. Two for the price of one. So if we did that, it's very dark. Okay, on the background there, those sort of colours. Or if we use that in the middle layer then, because it's really dark, if we come in, bring in one a little bit lighter, how does that catch you? Berry Bliss. There's Berry Burst or Blackberry Bliss. We've got in betweenies, haven't we? So we've got half and half there. I think that's quite nice. I think it's pulling through the colours. There we go. We'll settle with those. I'll sort those out later. So, I'm going to cut a piece of this to size. Sorry, I've just done a scrap out of there just to get us going and getting colours. You can see you don't have to have the whole size piece of card to decide, you know, just put your colour combinations up, leave a little border around as it's going to look, and then go from there. Berry Burst. Okay, brighter cards. So let's go with 14.3, I think. There we go. Surrounded by ink pads, look. And then 0.5 centimetre on that. Leave them there out of the way. So, you know me and the gutting. I haven't brought my my cutting plates with me, so over here. So I'm just going to leave that for now. We'll keep that as a whole layer. Now this isn't still isn't quite dry. We've got quite a lot of the white background on there. I do want some background, but I'm going to do some embossing now. I have the circles, the dotted circles embossing folder, and I'm not sure if, I don't think I've actually used this one yet online. I might have shown you, but I don't think I've actually used it. So this one here is going to be lots of circles. Now I wanted to show you what it looks like. So the circles here you could actually have in the middle, or you could have them down the corner of a sheet. So depending on where you wanted to position it, you could move that around. So the circle is for a layer, you could have this lower down here if you cut your paper down smaller. But I wanted you to see the texture of this. I don't necessarily need it in the middle, but I think tonight I probably will, just like, yeah, I'm going to just see what you think of it. I want you to see the definition on here. It's just such a detailed die. Just trying to get this in the centre of the circle, so we've got an even top and bottom, and then roughly left to right. I've got a gap here I can measure, and a gap here just by eye. I'm not getting a tape measure out, I'm just trying to eyeball it. So here we've got that line of little dots, and down the bottom here we've got a little bit more. So I'm going to shift that up just a tad and just check on the sizes there. That one's touching side by side, that's good. And then the bottom, yeah, it's kind of nearly there. I want it a fraction down, and I'm going to go through that one. So let's bring the big machine up. Okay. So for the embossing folders, we just need the base one, and we need the thick embossing folder here. This is one of the 3D folders, and I'm going to take this through. Yes, well done, Joyce. That's where we've settled. Okay, so I'm just running this through. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if you saw it when you were here over with me, Linda, but you're in for a treat. When we say 3D, they literally are 3D. So when I pull this out of here, hi Sandra, when I pull this out of here, you're going to see just how detailed that is. And OMG, look at that detail. if I held it on its side, you might, I don't know if it's going to show very well. So you can see how far that is etched on there. It's really, really thick, isn't it? So from a distance, if I hold it away from the screen, it's fabulous. So it's a dotted circles embossing, 3D embossing folder, and I'm really loving it. So you know I'm passionate about things, and I show you lots. So this one could be, if you did it with different colours and you had a smaller piece in the centre, say for a note card, we could do it on there, and then we could have this in the corner and radiate through. And you know what? I know I start later tonight because of travelling, but I might be able to actually whiz this through, and if we might be able to get both of them done. Wow, it is a wow, Anne, isn't it? And on the back, look, you can see how detailed that is. Okay, it's really, really super, super good. But because you've got these real big indentations, you have to be a little bit more careful with your glue. And I would just put on a little bit more than I would normally, because you're trying to catch the areas where there isn't a dent, if you get me. So I'm going to pop this down. I'm upside down now, but hey. There is no particular colour actually to a sky scene, really. I mean, I was starting with the blue at the bottom because the sunset tends to be higher up. But hey, look at that. Amazing. Now, we could put that down flat, or we can put it on raised pads, but I like to put greetings on, so I think I'll stick to the greetings. I might be just tempted to, if I can do a couple of quick ones, then we'll have a second one tonight. Make up for being a bit delayed. I ate my dinner, got in, and ate my dinner, and I haven't got indigestion, but boy did I eat that quickly, and I still didn't meet to 8 o'clock, so it's better doing it this way. So there's my card. Now you could put any greeting on that, couldn't you? I think I best add this to my never-ending wish list. Absolutely, my dear. Hi, Anne, nice to see you. How's New Zealand? I hope your weather's better than ours. You haven't seen this one? No, I think I might have shown it in person here. The 3D embossing folders are absolutely gorgeous, but this, I think this is the more detailed etched one that I've seen, really. I'm just going to put that water out of the way because I nearly put my Tombow in that jar instead. So that's that one. So we'll come back to greetings in a sec, but if we just quickly cut a half sheet of this one. So I do love my scraps in there because I use those for sentiments. So we'll leave that open. Chop this in half, trimmer. Come back. So these, I believe, are 7 inches. Yeah, so this is going to be 3.5. It's a good, easy measurement for those. And this will fit nicely on your note cards. I did grab those out as well. The beauty of having everything in boxes like this, they are very easy to grab and stack. So we've got that one folded. You can put a whole layer on here if we need. Now, I was making my swaps before I went away, and I have, oh, I did put it away, look. It's in the right place, look, it's in its home, my bone folder. So that would be, that fit on there, that's going to be a little bit, well, let's see. That fits the whole size of that note card, more or less. So I'm going to do the piece that I want to do, and I'm going to, let me think. I was going to do the different colours, but that will mean we'll have to have some more water. I'm just tipping it out of my water bottle here, just to, oops, a bit much. So there's something there for me to wash the brush in, just off camera. Okay, I'll turn that one over, so we've got different colours. Okay, so we're going to dampen this down again. Put my paper back again. Put it that way. So we'll mist this so it's going to be soaking in a little bit for us. So what I'm going to do this time, oh bless, no, the weather is very cold and windy. I have driven home virtually got out of Luton, and I was virtually heading towards the rainbows all the way home, and there was a double rainbow kept coming and going and coming and going. Beautiful sky, and I will post it later on my private page because it's not Craftwise. I had the most beautiful blue sky and white puffy clouds going into the rainbow, going into black, really menacing clouds. So I did a quick 360. I pulled off the motorway and the dual carriageway and took in a little lane, and I just stood there and took the 360. So it'll be interesting to see what that turned out like. So I'm going to just quickly switch colours now. I'm going to have a multitude of ink pads to sort out when we come off air. So I'm starting with the yellows now, and I'm just hoping that this is going to come nice and clean on my brush. There we go. A little bit of purple in there, but that shouldn't matter. So I'm going to squeeze this one. I'm going to work from the corner, because imagine this embossing folder with this corner in the middle of the piece here, and it goes outwards. So I'm going to try and make a yellow, sort of like a sun, squeezing out from that corner. Okay. Oh, that's not coming out very well, is it? Press a little bit harder, Sandra. Oh, we've got a little bit in there. Okay, I don't want it too diluted on the yellows because they are paler colours anyway. Okay, so I'm going to just have this one coming around here roughly in a circle. Okay, like so. Pick some more ink up. Because it's going to be the yellow, those dots, imagine those coming out from the circle. And we'll just clean that a little bit. You can see my desk full of open wet ink pads. So we kind of do the same thing as we did just now. Not very much is coming out of there. Look, we've got a tile here. We're going to do this instead. Look, we get better coverage that way. So this is the other way I've shown you how to do it on a tile. And we're just going to get some water on there. And then we're going to come round here. So we're basically working from the corner, and we want to come round. Think of how a rainbow would be. We can put some more water on it later, or we can just blend those two in together. So you've got a paler and a darker. And then we can go to, this is Calypso Coral. No, I've got the Wild Wheat first. That might be a bit too dark, but we'll try a little bit. Okay, so just pick some of that up. Then we'll come round the outside of that one. Yeah, that's not really, it's not that much darker, but it will just give us an extra little layer, won't it? Blend those in as we go. Because the paper is wet, we're going to get that nice feel to it. Try a little bit of Calypso. Okay, a little bit more water. You'll get to know what sort of quantity of water that you kind of need on here. I think it might be drying out a little bit around there. And that just helps us to stretch that colour round. Okay, back to the ink pad, come up the other way. But we're blending those into each other. Like so. Okay, so it's kind of like you're not getting too much muddiness because you're using the same sort of colours. I just happened to pull out the old pumpkin pie because I couldn't find the other one, so this is opening slightly differently. So we're going in here. Don't need that one at the moment, get you out of the way. So pumpkin pie is going to be kind of our last top layer of the circle, just coming out. We could put a little bit of pink in there as well, couldn't we? Just trying to bring that down a little bit. Pick up some more and go that little bit darker. So you're graduating it round. Because I'm on copy paper, if it runs underneath, it don't worry about it. It's not an issue because it will just leak onto the back, but it's not going to hurt. And then I want a touch of the pink that we had, Berry Burst. So if I clean that brush and then put some more water in here, we can. And then just try and bring a little bit of that just mixed in as well. So we're just finishing it off with a tinge of pink. And go the other way. If you've got most of the ink coming on your brush and it's all going that way, don't be afraid to go the other way as well. Okay, so we can finish that panel off now. I will just finish this off with trimming the edges down a little bit because it's a little bit too big for what I want. Okay, so just going to pick that up And come around a little bit darker. Is that starting to look like a sun? What do we think? Umpteen ink pads open. Now, if I had the heat gun out, I would do that now and just blast it with one, but I haven't. Just rinse the brush off so it doesn't stain. Okay, and then we'll see how we're going to go. So this one will dry, just a little bit of, give it a little bit of time. So I want to trim this down anyway. Whether you've got wet card, don't cut it down on a slidey trimmer. I've got the guillotine here, because if it's wet like this, just damp, when you drag it, it could tear. Okay, so let me just catch up on messages. Where are we? I didn't see one yesterday. I didn't see any rainbows yesterday. I did pop into IKEA at Milton Keynes on the way to where I was staying overnight. Yeah, cold weather. Oh, love the orange glow. Excellent. Hi, Rhonda. Got some nice overseas visitors today. I wanted this to dry a little bit more, but hey, ink everywhere. Are you having fun watching me? So this, I'm going to just hold this on here. I'm going to cover the whole of the front, but I'm just wondering if I want to have a little bit of layer behind that. Let me grab, say, the mid-range here. I'm going to go for Coastal Cabana, not Coastal Cabana. Oh, Calypso Coral, the middle one, and see how that's going to look for a base. So if we take a piece of that out and then pop this onto here, I just don't want it to go straight onto the white here. So if I cover the white and then maybe have a little tiny layer inside it, we could do that. So I know my sizes of the note cards. So I want this to be, you can see it's just slightly damp there. This wants to be 5 by 3.5. That was actually a card front. So. Ooh, that's faded. That's been in the sunshine. It's been left somewhere in view. So 5. And I tend to make sure I go the outside of that measurement for 5. If you're trying to cover a base layer of card like the note cards, I know the 3.5 by 5. So if you find you think you've got it on there and you might get that little shaving of white showing, you kind of want to be on the outside edge. So where the line is for 3.5, I want to make sure I'm just the other side of the line. Okay, not really over it, but just so that you don't see any white on here. Like so, it's completely covered it. And then we're going to take a piece of the basic white, I should do, and I'm going to come just inside of that. So we've got 3.5, let's go 3, 3.5, 3.25. So that's 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Get those out. And 5, we want to just come down 1/4 of an inch as well. With that piece, get those out of the way, and then I want to cut this one down just slightly. So what I'm going to do is I want this to fit on here. Whoops, that's going to go on, that's going to go on. So we've just got that little orangey piece there. So we'll layer those up, and then this one wants to come just inside of that. So let me just remember what sizes I did. So it's on a tiny little piece of scrap. We had 3.5 times 5, so then we've gone 3.25 by 4 3/4. So we want to come just under that. So we're going to go 3 1/8 by 4 that's 6/8, so 5/8. Okay, so we're narrowing that gap now. We're going to take that down a little bit more. Okay. So I'm just going to take a little bit off each side so that I get rid of those soggy, thicker edges, and then measure. So 3 1/8. Excuse me. Yeah, it still leaves the same. 3 1/8 by, oh, it's not going to go on there, is it? So we can do this because we're going to go to 4 5/8. So if we use our board here, 4.5, 4 5/8 onto the 0. There. You just eyeball it to your mat and then put a little pencil dot on the back. There we go, get those out. And hopefully we're at the right size that we need. Ooh, look at that. Just 1/8 of an inch of white, and then that will show us like so, just to give it that little bit of colour. So let's get those stuck down, but I mustn't stick the top one down because we're going to we're going to texture emboss it with that folder again. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure that embossing folder was in the annual catalogue that's buried under the ink pads. I know I didn't get it straight away, but boy do I like it. Lovely. So we'll do this one all the way around. Oh. What I do, I'm trying not to stick that in my water pot because my glue pot is the same. Just get that nicely in the centre. Okay, and then this one we're going to run through that folder again, wherever she put it. Where did I just up there? On my tower. So get this sun, we're going to put it right in the corner. Can you see? Oh, we're off the screen. Sorry, let me come out. You can see it. Just trying to open the folder. So we want this yellow piece to be in the corner of one of these sections here. Okay, so I want that sun to be in the corner here, and that's going to come right to the edge of my folder. Okay, like so. So it's going to come from there and radiate out. Make sure it's not hanging off the edge of your mat here, so you get a good emboss all the way to the edges, and run that through. Absolutely, Debbie. Yeah, a layer just, and the white, I do like to use white like that, a layer in between, because it just makes it, just takes the edge off. Okay. So look at this, and that's what we've ended up with, that panel. Look at the colours in there. We've kind of got that, and because the circles are going round like that as well, it's kind of like making that really, really focal in the middle there. So I absolutely love it. So I'm hoping you do too. So that's the circles embossing, circles, dotted circles embossing folder. Makes sense really. But it's beautiful, it's stunning. Okay. My tweezers are packed because I had to finish off my swaps. I only had to punch some holes in the back of my tags, the little folded tags. I used the birdhouse, and I had to punch the holes and then cut the twine and put the twine through, and I needed my tweezers, so just to finish them off. So that's 2 pieces now, and we just want to put our sentiments on there. We don't really need much else, do we? If we wanted a black, we could put a black greeting on there, only because I've got one ready. We've also got the feel good soon. So if we wanted that more as a decorative one and not as a sunset, I like this one better. So this would work nicely with the pinks and purples, but this is just a watercoloured image, and we could literally pop that through the centre there. So I think the black goes nicely with the pinks. So I think I'm going to put that on foam pads in the middle, and then we'll do a different greeting for this one. Where is my foam pads? Look at that. Dimensionals. There we go. Oh, and Smudge is coming to say hello. Bless her. She said, Mummy, you've not paid me any attention. You know she only wants treats, don't you? Lost without me tweezers. Never mind. You've got big fingers getting the backings off there. Scatter them on the floor. So I'm going to place this one just in the centre like so. And I think that is really, really just enough, isn't it? Make sure it's straight. Put your card on your grid, and then just make sure that that's eyeballed level. So there we go, a nice simple sentiment on there. And we could put ribbons on there, we could put twine, we could put some gems in a sec. So this is the only one we want to work out what we're going to do. I kind of think I've got these scraps here. I'm going to just try something with this colour, bringing the colour back through the Calypso Coral, and have Thanks on here, but we kind of want this to, don't want to lose this coming out from here. So maybe we want to put that up the top there. Let's see what other sentiments we've got in that set. Or, but this one's sitting in front of me. We've got Just For You. I like general greetings because they can be used whenever. Just For You. There's that one. Could do that one, couldn't we? I've got a thicker bit of card there. Yeah, we might do that one. Let's see, I just need to grab a block and mount the stamp. There we go. Now, to pop that on there, I'm going to just try one end. I'm going to stamp it in the same colour, so tone on tone. Now, some colours will work like this and some colours aren't so strong. So I'm just going to stamp it and see what you think. Now that is nice and bold. There doesn't have to be any more white in there. Yes, of course, Anne. Yeah, it's lovely. Hello or happy birthday on the sunset. I've got a hello somewhere. I've got a happy birthday. I've got the happy birthday from this one. I've got happy birthday in that one. At the top there, that long skinny one. And I had something else here. I'm sure I did. No? Oh, these ones. The ones on those sets as well. So we've got a birthday wishes. I think birthday wishes there is too big to go on here. Take your votes. Oh, YouTube's behind Facebook. It's, yeah, technology, probably the rain. Where have I been? Who said that one? Shaz. I've been to Luton Airport for a leaders meeting, a UK leaders. So with our UK manager, Helen. So there was about half of us there, I think. Some people were on holiday, some people were poorly. So there was half of us there, but it was a good meeting. You've got to make a decision. Oh, happy birthday. What have we got? I've stamped that one now already. Hello friend. How about that one? That's a nice smaller size one actually. We'll do this one and we'll make a decision, one of these two. Hello friend, where are we up there? Okay, and I'm going to stamp that on the other side of the block so you can't see it very well. I'm just going to stamp that on here. See, that one didn't go as darkly. Darkly? There's no such word. Didn't press so hard. There we go. So we've got Just For You or Hello Friend. And we'll mount both of those and we'll cut those. See where we go. At least we've got two images for two cards. So that was lucky having that one done already for us. So mini trimmer. And just for quickness, I'm going to take this on the guillotine. Chop it that end. Chop it this end. I haven't left much here to tag my ends on. Just going to trim top and bottom. I don't like top and bottom heavy. It just distracts from the shape of the words. So we have that one and we've got enough to do a little tiny flag each side, or we can have this one. And this one I'm just going to fussy cut round if I can find. Oh, lovely. Ooh. Everything's disappeared. It's still packed. You come in. And I'll take my travel kit. Come on, lovey. She wants the chair cleared next, won't she? Okay, my travel kit's there. Okay, and we'll fussy cut this one. Sitting on the chair now, bless her. So those two ones are good. So I'm just going to do a quick fussy cut on here for you, just to keep kind of the shape of what we're doing. So I'm just going to come round and just roughly pivot with my left hand. Just swivel it round. Trying to keep out of the shadow for you. Oh, they're both in. You might see Tiggs going up the stairs in a sec. Okay, so I'm just turning this as I go. So my left hand is, my inky left finger, my left hand is doing all the work. Coming up here, and swivel and come round again. I see Enjoy on here. I'll just remind you that our next Global Share Fair, Global Inspiration Stamp Team event is on this Friday and Saturday night. If any of my locals are around, I'm going to cut that off out of the way. If any of my locals are free this week, tomorrow, glutton for punishment. I'm always racing around. There's always a lot going on. I will be at Rocks and Barns from tomorrow, setting up tomorrow. So nice early start. And for those that don't know, it's a tourist attraction, like a family tourist attraction with a junior farm, and they've got a shopping lots of little local shops, amusements, food court, delicatessen, all sorts of things going on. And they have a pop-up studio, so I will be there all this week. And on Sunday, there's actually a makers market as well, so they'll have some more stands through the middle of the courtyard, through the middle of the area. So we have that one. Okay, to bring you on. So you've got that one that could go up there, or you've got the straight one that I can snip the ends of. I have 2 cats walking the desk at the moment. Oh, well, one's just gone. So I'm just flagging these ends, and I'm just going to do one more thing for you. So we'll work out which one you like. Tell me which one you think looks best size-wise. Okay, and I will grab a little tiny piece of sponge and my Calypso Coral ink. And even tone on tone looks good when you are sponging the edges. So for this one, because it's got a lot more cardstock on it, I'm just going to emphasize that with a little piece of sponge, just going around those edges. And I'm going downwards, so I'm getting the ink onto the sponge and just going at 90-degree angle. Hello friend, hello friend. Oh look, hello smudging tip, just for you. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, I think just for you. Oh, you got no. Yes, hello friend, just for you. So we've got just for you 1. Oh, I think it's a bit even Stevens. 3. Yeah, I think we've got 3 and 3. Okay. Let me get that on there. That one there. Because we've got some gems to put on first. We've got that one, or we've got that one. We've got a 50-50, so the next one that goes. The next one to shout. Is that a little bit better because it's a little bit deeper? It's a bit of a bigger greeting on a card. Or is that looking a bit lost up there? I'm going to go with this one. There you go. I've made a decision. Some more of these. Pop those on there. A few gems, and then I'll let you carry on with your evening. Oops, a daisy. I've got to start pulling things together to pack into the car tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to bring that on down a little bit from the corner, so it's just going to go in there. Raised it up a little bit so it gives it a bit of dimension, and then we grab some gems that I got out earlier. Yeah. And as I got my travel kit, I've got another pair of tweezers, which is great. Okay, I think I'm going to put the little ones, and I'm just going to put them randomly. I'm not going to try and put them on the end of those. If you tried to put them on the ends of those raised pieces, they're no doubt going to fall off. I really think they would, having done things like this before. So just randomly 3 on there, and then some over here, just randomly. I'll put 5 on here. It's a bigger card, but don't waste time on where to put them. Just go for it randomly. There we go. So there's my 2 cards. I hope you've liked those this evening. Okay, totally different, and it's World Watercolouring Month, So there's some watercolouring in there. We've used the wide brush and done some wash with the watercolour, which is really nice. And you've seen a different embossing folder you haven't seen before. So I'm really pleased with those. Just get that out of this shadow if I can. And I really like the look. So here you've got the white border on the watercolour paper. Here we've covered the whole piece of paper, and then put the white border on neatly with the cardstock. Okay, going to give it a go. Absolutely, Linda, well done. It's good. So I'm going to put that one, put me up there and bring you back to me. Oh, thanks, Sam. So Wednesday night, I'll be home in the evening, so I should be fine for my lives this week. I can't think of anything else evening wise. I have to write it in my planner, otherwise I get totally lost with my diary. Anyway, thanks for joining me. We've been about the hour tonight. Look, kept a bit longer, but 2 cards. Okay, 2 for the price of 1. Okay. Oh, bless you. Thank you for your lovely comments. And I will see you again on Wednesday. And take care. And yeah, hopefully the weather's going to improve for us all.